said, seek ye shall find. I've been with you through all times. If you're thirsty, I will quench you with my love. And if you're hungry, I will feed you with my word. And all I ask of you is that you love as I do. And if you lose your way, I'll lead you to my love. From a sinful life, I'll cleanse you in my love. For creation, there's a weakness of my love. You know that. You should know it's time for the world to try your love. The only love that can bring peace in. So won't you try your love. Love. Time is slow, a touch of close encounter. Your love embraced me and took over my life. And now I'm new. Your strength has made me change my ways from wrong to right. Please, Father, please, this world we live is faltered. Deliver us from all this evil and pain. God bless the heart that loves unto his brother, praising out your name. He said, be not afraid. For those who believe, I will save. And if you're thirsty, I will quench you with my love. And if you're hungry, I will feed you with my word. And all I ask of you is that you love as I do. And if you lose your way, I'll lead you to my love. From a sinful life, I'll cleanse you in my love. For creation bears a weakness of my love. I know that you should know it's time for the world to. The only love that can bring peace is. So won't you try your love. I know that without him there'd be no tomorrow. Who lives broken hearts and from sorrow. So won't you try your love. I know that you should know it's time for the world to. The only love that can bring peace is. So won't you try your love. I wonder when will the world wake up and start to. People have to long pay no mind to. So won't you try your love. I know that once you begin, you won't regret you. The ultimate life satisfaction. So won't you try your love. You know that there's no excuse for no one not to. You'll be grateful you let inside you. So won't you try your love. I know that, but right is the only reason to. The key to inner satisfaction. So won't you try your love. Try your love.
All right, that worked out perfectly. Let me turn this down a little bit. It's a little bit loud. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man, Lincoln Clay, coming back at you with an evening podcast. As I just got up about an hour ago, um, same deal. Still sleeping a lot. Worked, got out of work, grabbed a bite to eat, took a nap, woke up about 9:30, and I waited a little bit to see if there was going to be a roundtable podcast tonight, but once it became obvious, at least right now, it doesn't look like there's going to be a podcast. I decided to go ahead and have a podcast myself because the subject that I wanted to talk about tonight is something that's been weighing on my mind for a few days. So, but before I get into that, I do want to say a couple of things. Starting with the song, the intro music, that was Third World. And the song was called Try Jah Love. That is one of my all-time favorite reggae songs. I think that is a song from around 19. I don't know, somewhere between like 1978 and 1982, somewhere around that time. But definitely love that song to this day. And then I think on a short note, this a little bit off topic. I have to dig into it more to see what's going on with it, but it appears that EA is, no longer supporting Battlefield 5, which in some senses is a shame because I still think, all in all, I still think Battlefield 5 is not a bad game, at least the multiplayer part of it. I still enjoyed the multiplayer part of it, but I think there's a part of me that thinks that everybody who was involved in Battlefield 5 from top to bottom should be fired because, that's me talking like a person that's ruling with the iron hand because I've said it over and over and over again that EA was idiotic in criticizing its user base. They essentially bit the hand that fed them by calling them uneducated and daring them not to buy the game, and they paid a heavy price for it. So other would-be publishers and developers, learn a lesson. Do not criticize the people you expect to buy your game. So with that being said, let's move on to the subject that I wanted to talk about. I don't know if I was going to be up to be able to do the Graveyard podcast. And as far as Live from Wakanda goes, I'm not sure if I'm going to do Live from Wakanda tomorrow or not. And even if I did, this is not a subject that I wanted to spend the entire podcast talking about, since Live from Wakanda is basically based on the latest news. This is more of an opinionated podcast. So for those of you who follow VR, the trailer that I'm playing, which I've played before, is for Supernatural. This is a VR fitness rhythm game that just released today. Yesterday, there was they introduced which I believe is like a 30-day trial of the game. And when I first saw the game, at least this trailer was the first time I saw it. I thought, okay, looks like another Beat Saber knockoff. Looks okay. And my thinking is uncompetitive. How are you? And my thinking was, depending on what kind of music is in the game, or if they even allow you to customize your music, it'll probably be a decent game. That was until I learned that this game is subscription based. This game is $20 a month. And my instant thought was that this game is DOA, dead on arrival. So as there was a build up for this game, there was, in the VR world, it was, people were talking about it in the VR community, but outside that, it's barely making a blip because, VR is still niche, it's still growing, but it's still niche. So the rest of the outside world doesn't really know that much about this game and the questionable subscription model behind this game. So who the hell can afford that? I'm gonna, boy, uncompetitive. I mean, I don't want to jump all over the place, but I definitely, wanted to add to what you just, that question you just asked right there, but I don't want to jump all over the place. Great tantrum. I might pay $20, but not a month to play it. Exactly. Because let's face it, Beat Saber is still, I've said it before, Beat Saber is still the king of the mountain. Beat Saber has started a phenomenon. There's workout games and fitness games all over the place in VR now because of Beat Saber. And I guess it was only a matter of time before somebody was going to try something like Supernatural, where the game is subscription based. And so I don't know. There was a post on Twitter, and let me dig this post up. So I'll read it, because somebody made a post on Twitter, and I responded to it. But so what it is I won't mention the guy's name. And it says, looks like Supernatural has arrived. Anyone had a chance to dive in yet? And let me know if it's more than a Beat Saber with trainers. And so I commented on it. I don't know the guy, but I couldn't help but to comment. I commented and said, that's exactly what it feels like to me. It feels like Beat Saber with trainers, not worth $20 a month, in my opinion. And so he responded by saying, after playing it, I think you certainly could get the same physicality out of Beat Saber with fitness-minded 360 maps, but those don't really exist. And then I responded one more time with, if it was a flat $20-$30, I'd buy it, but there's too many fitness and rhythm games out there to justify a subscription. What I didn't pay attention to on his post was that he tagged the developers in this post. So the developers responded to my latest comment. The developers said that we understand the subscription model is surprising. We have a team of devs, producers, and content creators who work to put on a new daily workout every day. A lot of cost goes into the production of the landscape, working with live coaches, and licensing the best music. And so I just left it at that, because I didn't see any point in getting into a back and forth with a developer over this game, because they're not going to change my mind on how I feel about this game, because I do not think this game is worth this app is worth $20 a month. I think it looks cool, and I like the BitFit feature where you can keep track of your workout and that kind of stuff, through your BitFit or whatever it is you're wearing. I think that's cool, but at the end of the day, to me, it just looks like a what's the word I'm looking for? It looks like a Beat Saber knockoff with a couple of little kinks to it. Great tantrum. You said the only subscription-based gaming I will buy is Viveport. And I was watching Anthony of VR 365. He made a great point that, $20 a month I thought was rather steep for the Viveport. And the reason I felt like that was rather steep is because I would never get use out of it. And not only that, with Viveport, I'm feeling like this is probably going to be something similar to Game Pass, where you may not be getting the latest and greatest games. Instead, you're going to be getting watered down stuff and old games. So I didn't find it to be worth $20 a month. They did have a special, I think, where it was like $30 for the year, which I thought was a decent deal, but it still wouldn't. I still don't think it would have given me much value, for the simple fact that I would not have taken advantage of all the games at my disposal. Especially with what's on the horizon with the Oculus Quest, along with some of the other blockbuster titles that's supposed to be coming this year, something that I would not be spending a lot of time doing. Uncompetitive. Maybe the developer thinks they can sell a very few super rich elites. It can't. He said it can't have cost all that much to develop, so the development of new exercises will be funded by subscription like Destiny. So you guys know how I feel about it. I don't think it's worth the $20. A flat out $20, yeah, just for the simple fact that it would have given me a different rhythm game, a different exercise game. But $20 a month, absolutely not. And I'm not trying to be harsh on the developers, but after thinking this thing through over a couple of days, not only do I think this thing is going to work, I think there's also another a motive with this game. I think you've heard me talk about this before. how I feel like Beat Saber and other workout games, other rhythm games, are catching on with the female demographic. I've said this many, many times through through other podcasts and through observations that I've made with a lot of the Oculus groups that I'm part of. Beat Saber and other rhythm games are catching on slowly but surely with the female demographic, and I think it would be even I think it would have even more momentum if the Oculus Quest was in supply. The pandemic has, brought a lot of stuff to damn near screeching halt. But I think Oculus kind of put themselves in a bad position to begin with by not being able to keep up with demand of the Oculus Quest from the get-go. Now, I don't know, that's a story for another day. I've said that before. I question some of these droughts that Oculus has had with the Quest. I question whether some of them were deliberate. I've done podcasts on that. And if I feel like opening up that can of worms, I'll do another podcast on that. But anyway, it is catching on with the female demographic. And every day I'm seeing posts on these Oculus groups of people wanting to get an Oculus Quest or waiting for their Oculus Quest to arrive. And I've said it before that these rhythm games are catching on with the female demographic. And because of that, I think that's exactly why they came out with the Timberland Music Pack that they came out with. And it was nothing like I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be hardcore hip hop. But to me, it was like 5 songs like pop music that I think appealed to women. Not that I think that's a bad thing. It's just it wasn't what I expected. But I'm sure Facebook has data, and they gotta know that the Oculus Quest is picking up with women. And with that being said, because the Oculus Quest is gaining momentum with women, I think not only is this game geared towards women, the Supernatural, not only do I think this app is geared towards women, I think this app is also designed to sell the headset to women. He said, I do like the chill backdrops. Yeah, I mean, the backdrops, the environments are exactly what I thought they would be. They just look like they're just still photos. They look like they were taken with a 360-degree camera, but which is cool. I mean, I'm fine with that. So it looks like the Himalayas and the Machu Picchu. Yeah, they've got several environments. I did try they did have a 30-day trial, and I tried it yesterday. And I will come around to give my thoughts on that, a little more in depth. But I want to get back to, I think data and stuff like that suggests that the Oculus Quest is gaining momentum with women, and games like Beat Saber are the catalyst to that. And that's why I think they came out with the Timberland Music Pack. But when you stop and think about it, I think they see that they got something special on their hands with an opportunity to capitalize on people wanting to get fit and have fun while they're doing it. And I've said that before too. That is another huge factor. I've said that before. A lot of people, especially women, want to get in shape, which is not a bad thing, but they don't want to have to live into the gym to do it. And when you break down genetics, body fat is more unforgiving on women than it is on men. It's a scientific fact. I could have whatever size my belly would be. A woman with that same size belly would have a higher body fat percentage. It's just a cold hard fact. And I've seen women walk every day on their lunch break for days, months, and got minimal results to the point where it would be easy to give up. So with that being said, I think VR was the best thing that ever happened to fitness, because I think for decades, maybe centuries, working out was probably a necessary evil if you wanted to have that perfect body, something that was never fun, but something that you had to do. I think that fitness was never fun, in my opinion, until Richard Simmons came along. I think Richard Simmons came along in the early '80s, and I feel like his regimen was the first introduction to aerobics. He was the first guy that I saw that did had shows where there was a group of people exercising the music, and from there it seems like that's where aerobics originated from. And I think Richard Simmons is probably the first guy who made working out somewhat fun. Lunkin, what's good? Because over the years he's come out with a lot of videos where there's group-based exercising to different types of music. He had like a Motown workout video where they exercised to a lot of the old Motown classics. So I think Richard Simmons was like one of the first guys that made working out fun, and it evolved from there with aerobics to ribbon dancing, whatever you want to call it. But I think VR and fitness right now, it's a phenomenon. It's something with proven results, and it's something that's fun. The results are uncontestable. The results are undeniable. I've seen success stories of women losing 50 pounds from playing Beat Saber. The results are proven. If with a good diet, the pounds will come off like that. Even for the most stubborn body chemistry, people with the most stubborn genetics, they will lose weight with a proper diet and playing Beat Saber. And the whole thing about Beat Saber, I said that a million times, especially when you're playing to your favorite music, you're having so much fun that you don't even realize that you've been playing it for a couple hours. And how do I say, I think games like Beat Saber, along with the Oculus Quest for women, is heaven on earth. They can have that fit body that they always wanted, and don't have to live in a gym to do it, and they can have fun while they're doing it, and time flies when you're having fun. And that is starting to, in my opinion, the results are starting to show with the data that Facebook is probably receiving. So they're trying to cash in on this phenomenon. So my first thought was, well, since Oculus owns Beat Saber, why would they come out with something like this when they already own Beat Saber? They already own, which is arguably the best fitness game out there right now. But then I stopped and thought, once you buy Beat Saber, that's it. They're not going to get any more money out of people from Beat Saber unless they pay for the DLCs. So here we go. So now we're at that point where they're looking for reoccurring money. Now they're going to kill two birds with one stone with this. They're going to get reoccurring revenue from the subscriptions and this game as this game continues, this app continues to grow, and people start posting their results, and the word starts getting out about this app. It's going to help. It's going to sell the headset as well. So I think next summer, especially as hopefully things will be back to. I wouldn't say this summer, because I think it's going to take a while for this economy to recover. But maybe by this time next year, I think the Oculus Quest is. I think it's still going to be in demand, but the question is can Oculus keep up with demand? So, with that being said, the bottom line is this app is targeted towards women, and it's going to work. They're going to sell subscriptions, and it's going to sell Oculus Quest headsets. No matter what your preference is with the Oculus Quest, you can play whatever your preference is, and you still have that freedom to take it with you. So by this time next year, I think that's going to become the norm for women who like this type of thing with these fitness apps. They're going to take their Quest with them. It's going to be in the trunk of their cars. They get somewhere at a gathering, and they get bored. They're going to pull it out and jump on jump on Supernatural. Now, the app itself, for me personally, is not for me, because I'm not a subscription person. But I can't knock anyone who wants it, because take JD Maxx for instance. He loves iRacing. He is passionate about iRacing, but there is a subscription, which I think is even more ridiculous than Supernatural. The game costs $10, and then there are tracks and cars that are locked that you have to buy, and then you have to pay a monthly subscription in order to utilize those cars and those tracks. So you got to pay $10 for the game. You got to pay money to have cars and tracks, and then you got to pay a monthly fee to be able to use them, which I think is absolutely absurd. But JD Maxx, he plays this game faithfully, and I think it's a good game. I wouldn't pay a monthly subscription for it. I just wouldn't, because I'm not that type of a person, and so I can't knock anybody who likes Supernatural. In fact, I saw a video today on one of the Oculus groups. A man posted a video of his wife playing Supernatural in the kitchen, and she looked, she was working up a sweat, but at the same time, she looked like she was literally enjoying herself. So I said, right there, that just sold it right there, because she's, she had a body that looked like, she looked like she was borderline fit, but she looked like she probably only needed to lose like 5 pounds or something like that for to have the body where the definition would start showing in the arms and that kind of stuff. But I can tell by the way his wife was playing it, she loved it, and I'm sure she's going to tell her friends about it, and that alone is going to sell a couple of more headsets and sell a couple of more subscriptions. So me, myself, after personally playing this game, I played it, and you had the trainers. You had a woman who starts off explaining the basics of the game, and then she'll send you off to a couple of different traders that's going to introduce you to a couple of exercises, and then you'll do a couple of exercises to a couple of songs. So as far as the environment goes, yes, it looks cool, but it still looks like a still photo to me. So, so it was just something different to look at as far as the environments goes, and then as far as the exercises goes, I didn't see anything on the exercises that I couldn't do on Beat Saber. Naturally, you got the baseball bats in your hand, and it works like Beat Saber, in the sense that you got to hit those balls, and the balls have cones, so whichever direction those cones are pointed, that's the way you got to swing. I will say this about the game, though. If you play this game, you got to have a tall ceiling, because this game requires you to take big swings, basically within the radius of your entire body. And I actually hit the ceiling fan when I played this, because I had to reach up so high to get one of the cones. So that's something to take into consideration if you decide to get this app, is make sure you got ceiling, got some overhead or whatever above your head to mess around with. So, but they had a couple of different twists where the cones were coming at you, and then the cones would have like a trail, like a glittery trail, and they might go in swirls. So you hit the cone and then follow the trail, which I thought that part was pretty cool. But I've seen stuff like that on Beat Saber, where you have a bunch of small cubes that will form a spiral, and you still follow the spiral. So with that being said, this thing there was nothing on this game where I said, wow, you can't do this on Beat Saber. I gotta get this. There was nothing that I saw in this game that I thought you couldn't do on Beat Saber. I think the only thing that, in my opinion, that separates this game from Beat Saber is the environments and the trainers. And from what I'm seeing, I don't think these trainers are live. I think these trainers are these are recorded regimens, workouts that they lay out for you. So, as far as the workout goes, yeah, it's going to get you results. There's no question about that. I just don't. There's just nothing about this game that I feel like I couldn't do on Beat Saber. And so the bottom line is, if this game was a flat out 20, $30, just like I said on Twitter, I would buy it. But subscription, nah. I've worked out for enough years that, especially now that VR factors into that, I've worked out long enough that I know which games that I'd like to play. And there's basically Beat Saber and Pistol Whip. I play Pistol Whip to get a little bit of a workout on my legs, because you can get a little bit of a leg workout from Beat Saber, but my legs hurt more from playing Pistol Whip. So I just play Pistol Whip for the leg workout, and I play Beat Saber for the cardio. But I'm not gonna knock the game. I think it's a good game. I just don't think it's worth $20 a month. So I think that's all I got on that. Because now I'm just fishing around for extra stuff to say. But I think I pretty much said what I think. It's not for me, but I do think it's going to be successful, especially with women. I think this is going to be a big hit with women. And that's the other thing. The music didn't exactly move me either. It wasn't bad, but I think the music was clearly geared towards women. So the same way I think that Timberland music pack was geared towards women too. So the same way that, in my opinion, that Microsoft is with Game Pass. I think Game Pass is targeted at kids and people on a budget. I think this Supernatural app is aimed towards women. So it's cool though. I mean, because at the end of the day, hey, whatever floats your boat. So if they enjoy it, then I'm not going to knock them for paying $20 a month. I'm not going to say, hey, you stupid or anything like that. If they enjoy it, then they enjoy it. Some people probably can't justify all the money that I've spent on VR, but hey, I love it. So with that being said, I think I'll get ready to wrap it up here in a few minutes, except to say that I'm probably going to stay up all night. What's going on? Is that, hold on. I need to have a little bit closer look at your name so I don't butcher it. Who we got? Durbin Brown. What's going on? How you doing? So I plan on staying up all night and playing Echo VR. And I'm telling you, I've been having a ball with Echo VR on the Oculus Quest. And I think either next week or the week after, I think they're supposed to enable crossplay. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then there was a huge update for Dead and Buried 2, which that was a game that I had been playing for a while. And they've put a mode that should have been in there from the get-go, and that's the quick draw mode, where you can go one-on-one in a Western duel type setting, which was on the original Dead and Buried, but it wasn't on Dead and Buried 2, and there was a lot of people complaining that they wanted quick draw, and they finally added it. Durbin Brown, fear not, because I signed up for the Echo VR closed alpha, and it was supposed to start like March, I think it was March 23rd, and I had just got, not yesterday, but the Thursday before it, I had just got my invite to it. Now, I guess they were supposed to start another wave. I guess some more invites were supposed to go out yesterday and today, and then they were supposed to I don't know if there's going to be more invites going out when they start the cross-play part of it, where you can play with Rift people. But I know before all is said and done, there's going to be an open beta at some point. So even if you don't get the invite, you will get a chance to play at some point. But I thoroughly enjoy it. This game is I think this game is 3 years old, and the first time I played it, I was still trying to get my VR legs under me, so I was trying to adapt to the zero G combat or arena play, whatever you want to call it. But now I absolutely love it, but I suck at the game. I'm still trying to get better. I'm still trying to learn the strategy. This is definitely a team-based game. To me, it's like hockey or soccer, or as you know, Europeans call it, football in zero G. And I'm trying to get better at trying to anticipate where the disc is going to go so I can get in position to get the disc, because I have not scored yet. I have not scored a goal yet. My son has played under my name and he's scored a couple of goals, but I haven't scored yet. I've been having a lot of fun with Iron Lights on the Quest lately. It looks interesting, but what Echo VR offers me is that team-based multiplayer and the social experience. So there, as far as multiplayer games, people have complained about multiplayer games being on the Quest, and there's a few of them, but a lot of them are player versus player. Racket Fury, Creed, Iron Lights just came out. There's a couple of co-ops on there with Arizona Sunshine and Drop Dead Dual Strike Edition, but there's no officially released team-based games, because you can sideload Pavlov, and you have to like get into the Discord or something like that for contractors. I think for contractors and onward, you got to get into the Discord and contact the developers for a key, all that kind of stuff. But once those games officially release, that's going to bring in a whole new wave of players. Because I definitely love team-based games. So with that being said, I thoroughly enjoy Echo VR. I mean, I guess it's one of those games it's an acquired taste, because the game didn't exactly resonate with me the first time I played it, but and I was definitely curious about it coming to the Quest. Yeah, there is a little bit of a downgrade with the graphics. Truth be told, the graphics, I've said it before, that the graphics look a lot better than I thought it would. The edges are just a little bit sharp, whereas on the Rift S, the edges are razor sharp. But all in all, I think it still looks better than what I thought it would. But once you start playing, all that stuff goes out the window. You forget about all that stuff once you start playing, especially if you're trying to get better at the game. As far as actual gameplay, it's exactly the same as the Rift. But the trade-off is that the resolution and graphics on the I'm not gonna say the resolution, but the graphics are a little bit sharper on the Rift. But on the Quest, you got the freedom with no wires, and I've said that before about Echo VR. When you're reaching all over the place trying to get that disc, sometimes you can find yourself spinning around in a circle and get tangled up in that cord. You don't have to worry about that with the Quest, and that's why I absolutely love playing this game on the Quest. Uncompetitive. How expensive is a gym membership? It depends on where you work out. I don't know what it's like over, where you live at, but over here in the United States, I think before Planet Fitness came along, gym memberships could be expensive, and they still are. Like if you go to the YMCA, I think a gym membership there can cost anywhere from $50 to $100 a month, depending on what package you get, which is absolutely absurd. But other than the YMCA, to me it seemed like the average gym memberships were probably $30 to $40 a month. But once Planet Fitness came along and made gym membership as cheap as $10 a month, I think it forced a lot of gyms to have to lower their monthly, lower their prices in order to be competitive. So with that being said, how much a gym membership costs all depends on where you work out at. So as far as this game goes, as far as this subscription part of this game goes, I think. Well, I guess they're claiming they're adding. When the developer responded to me, they said they're adding new workouts every day from licensed trainers and licensed, getting licenses for music. Now, as far as the music goes, if they keep up with the hottest, latest music, that will go a long ways towards drawing people in. But if they just throw some music in there that people never heard of before and just hope they catch on with it, no, it's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna fly. But whoever the hot singer or rapper is that's got chart topping songs right now, and they throw those songs in there while it's hot, that's going to draw people in because they're going to enjoy working out to the latest, hottest music. So if they do that, so with that being said, for somebody who thinks the $20 a month for this game might be worth it, I think the value is going to come in the form of the trainers, putting new workouts out there and the music constantly being, added to it. So, if it was $5 a month, maybe I could see that, but $20 a month, especially during these times. Uncompetitive. You said, okay, well, maybe Supernatural, is it too expensive? And it would be a good substitute for gym during the COVID-19 lockdowns. I'll say this. For the person, especially the woman that truly wants to get into shape, maybe the $20 isn't that bad, because there are trainers in the game, and they try to motivate you, they try to pump you up, and they're adding, music, they're adding they're adding environments and that kind of stuff. So with that being said, it may be, it'll be worth it to some of them. Now, gyms, gyms is a totally different gyms is a totally different thing. I say that because, like, places like Planet Fitness, I couldn't work out there because a lot of people, I'm being judgmental. Now, that's supposed to be the thing about Planet Fitness. It's supposed to be a non-judgmental atmosphere, but that's exactly what it is. If you guys seen what my thumbnail looks like. So when I walked into Planet Fitness, being one of the bigger dudes, they would look at me like I was some kind of steroid eating, whatever, and just looked at me like I was a big meathead that was walking in there to intimidate them on purpose, which wasn't the case. But when I got in there and I saw the atmosphere, I saw a lot of people half-assing in there. I saw a lot of people in there who I felt was not giving 100%, and there were people in there that were walking around, people watching. There were people walking around that was just looking to get attention, like, look at me, check out these new yoga pants I got, whatever. So with that being said, I couldn't work out at Planet Fitness. The gym that I work out at is a hardcore gym. The owner of our gym is a former Mr. Grand Rapids, and 2020. So 2000 Mr. Michigan 2018 is from our gym. He won Mr. Michigan at our gym. He's been working out there for a few years, and the owner of our gym has a proven track record. Damn near everybody he trains that gets up on that stage, they walk away with some kind of trophy. So, and it's a hardcore gym, and it's the kind of gym that if you get intimidated easy, it's not a good place to go. Because you walk into that gym and you see dudes, benching 500 pounds and squatting 500 and 600 pounds and that kind of stuff. It'll be and you can't even bench 135 pounds. You're gonna leave. You're not, you ain't gonna be really unless you got that mindset that you there to better yourself no matter what. It wouldn't be the place for you. So with that being said, coming back to Supernatural, I think maybe the $20 would be worth it for somebody who's really dedicated to getting that fit body. So I never thought, I never said it was a bad game, and I never said that it wouldn't produce results, because it will. Just like all the other fitness games out there in VR, with a proper diet, and you play these VR games, you're going to get results, no question about it. So with that being said, I guess looking back at it, for a person that's really dedicated, especially a woman, it probably will be worth the $20 a month. So, I mean, looking at the big picture, even though I'm not a subscription person, I hope it succeeds, because it helps as this thing continues to grow and it continues to gain popularity. It's also going to sell Quest headsets, therefore bringing us one step closer to getting VR to the mainstream, whether it's done through standalone headsets, or whether it's done by PC VR, or whether it's done through the PS5. I mean, I really don't care which one of those headsets gets us to the mainstream, as long as we get to the mainstream. Have another drink here. It's starting to get a little bit raspy. Yeah, but I think tonight, I plan on being up all night playing Echo VR and playing Dead and Buried 2 with the new update. Because at least the quick draw part of it, that should have been there from the word go. I don't know what they were thinking when they took that out. So, all right. I guess I managed to stretch this thing out an extra 15 or 20 minutes. I definitely want to thank everybody for joining. Again, I don't know whether I'll do live from Wakanda tomorrow or not. I guess it all depends on when I go over my notes and see if any of it's worth talking about. I mean, I could talk about the EA pulling the plug on Battlefield 5, but I would be beating a dead horse by bringing that back up. And I don't know. I think EA kind of deserved to get fucked up on that game, because I think they brought it on themselves. You said Durbin Brown. That game was already fun, so it's only getting better with the updates. I don't know if you tried it or not. But if you want, Durbin, you can send me a friend request. We can jump in some Dead and Buried, and then whenever you get an invite to Echo VR, we can jump on there. Or if you have a PC VR headset, we can play it on the Rift. So I'll go ahead and type my Oculus username in here. That should be it, exactly the way you see it, with the underscore. Because that's also my Steam username as well. So, if you have a Quest or you have a Rift, feel free. You said I only have PSVR and Quest. Well, go ahead and shoot me a PSVR. I'm not gonna now. I don't play PSVR that much, and I never thought I would see the day that, like, with PSVR, unfortunately, I do appear offline on PSVR, because if I appear online, I'll start getting a lot of messages and invites and that kind of stuff. And if it's a situation where I'm tired and just don't have the energy to get up and play, and I don't answer it, I don't want to. I don't want to be rude to anybody and not answer messages and that kind of stuff. So I thought it would just be best for me to appear offline on the PlayStation. So, but in the case of Quest, yeah, definitely shoot me a request on the Quest. So shoot, it'd be nice if you had that invite. But yeah, I plan on playing some Dead and Buried as well. So if you got that game, we can definitely hook up on Dead and Buried. Dead and Buried 2. Uncompetitive. Thanks for the for tagging me on Twitter. Also, oh, you know what? Something that I'm thinking about. Craig Harris has challenged me, J Dub, and Carlos Fernandez to GT Sport, and I'm hoping that we're going to do this tomorrow. So if we do this tomorrow, I will stream it, but be warned because PlayStation VR doesn't have multiplayer for GT Sport. I will be forced to run this game flat screen, and being that I do all my racing in VR, do not expect a great performance from me. If this was VR, I would guarantee a victory. If we were doing this in VR, I would guarantee victory, but because this is flat screen, I cannot guarantee victory. But in any case, I will stream it if we do follow through with it tomorrow. Also, I plan to reach out to J Dub because I'm still planning to do the 24 lap race at Le Mans in honor of the 24 hours of Le Mans. I'm led to believe that race is probably going to get canceled or postponed. Yeah, but in any case, I'm still planning on following through with the date. You know, whatever date the 24 hours of Le Mans is scheduled, I believe it happens sometime in June. I think it used to be in May, but they pushed it back because of weather problems in the past. So I think the race takes place in June, and whatever the date that the race is supposed to take place on, the weekend before that, I still plan to do my 24-lap race at the Circuit de la Sarthe track for 24 hours of Le Mans, and I plan on turning on damage and tire wear and fuel consumptions. So that's going to make the race very strategic in terms of how you race and when to come into the pits. The only thing I will not turn on is mechanical failure, because you can blow a motor, I believe, if you do a shitty job of changing gears or redlining the car or over revving it or that kind of thing. I think you can blow the motor on the car, and and I don't want the race to end that way. So I probably won't turn on mechanical failures, but I will turn on damage. I will turn on damage, not just cosmetic, structural and suspension damage, engine damage as well. So if you smash into a wall, you just out of the race. That's all to it. And I will turn on tire wear, and because of the damage being turned on, that's definitely going to put you in a place where you can't afford to be super aggressive and risk wrecking the car. So I plan to talk to J Dub and see if he wants to jump in on that. So as far as uncompetitive, you were saying it might take you 2 hours. No, because I've done hot laps at Circuit de la Sarthe on Project Cars 2, and I think the fastest lap that I turned in was like 3 minutes and I want to say like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So you times that by 24. So I don't know. But then again, I don't know. But then again, when you factor in pit stops and stuff like that, so maybe an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half. But in any case, it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to doing that. So Yeah, I know the record. The real life record is 3 minutes and 14 seconds. I forgot the name of the driver that set that lap, but I know that he did it in the Toyota TS050 hybrid. So I think on Project Cars 2, the fastest lap that I think I turned in was like 3:35. But I think on GT Sport, I think the fastest lap I turned in on GT Sport was like 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Ken Miles is the that's not the racer that turned in the fastest lap. The fastest lap was turned in a couple of years ago from a Toyota racer. Ken Miles is the guy who was killed, I think, while he was testing a Ford GT like way back in the 60s. So, to my knowledge, Ken, there you go, Kamai Kobayashi, there you go, right there on competitive. There you go. So I know he did it in the Toyota hybrid, which I think as far as video games goes, that is an excellent car. There we go. I see your request, Durbin. So, accept request. There we go. I also play on the Quest. I also play PokerStars VR too, which is a free-to-play game. You go to, they have like a big wheel, like a Wheel of Fortune type wheel, and every 8 hours you get a free spin, and you can win anywhere. I think you can get anywhere from 5,000 to 250,000 on each spin. So I think I did hit for 50,000 one time though. So at the conclusion of this podcast, I'm gonna grab a quick bite to eat because I'm getting hungry as hell, and then I'm gonna jump on Echo VR, and then at some point after that, I'll plan on jumping on Dead and Buried. We're on Eastern time over here. It's 11:06 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't know where you're at, but you know, when I'm not tired, I'm a night owl. I like staying up late when I'm not tired. So with that being said, you said the only game I played sitting, I believe. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love PokerStars VR. Is relaxing, and you can sit while you're playing it. And I listen to podcasts while I'm playing PokerStars VR, or listen to music while I'm playing PokerStars VR. So, in fact, I think someone just created a mod for the Oculus Quest that allows you to listen to music inside the headset while you're playing your games, which I think that's a pretty neat feature too. So it looks like we have run about an hour. I'm going to go ahead and boogie on out of here. I need to eat, so I can just hurry up and get that out of the way and get to my gaming. So with that being said, Durbin, I will be on the lookout for you. First things first, eat and then jump into Echo VR. It might be a couple of hours before I get around to Dead and Buried 2, but you know, keep your eyes open. So, because I definitely want to get into that with that new update, and it is crossplay. So, but I'll be playing it on the Quest if I play it. So even though I have the Rift, I'll still be playing it on the Quest. So with that being said, I'm gonna boogie on out of here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. And I guess as far as Supernatural goes, I don't know what kind of success it's going to have, but I do think it's going to be successful. And you know, I'm okay with that. Just not, and again, I think it's a good game. I'm just not the subscription based type person. So, but okay, that's gonna do it for me, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out of here. I will catch y'all later. Wakanda forever. Deuces.